What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Yesterday, I went 4-3 overall. NBA was not good. It was 1-3. College basketball was 3-0. So overall, it was a little profit, but not happy with the NBA. Veno, always good to be here with you. How's everything going for you? You're muted.
I'm muted. Okay. Yesterday was good. 4-1 college, 1-1 NBA. The good was Golden State team total over. Got there by a whisker, 119. It was 118 and a half. Barely got there. And the bad was what we dropped in here. Lost by a half a point. New Orleans over 116 and a half got to 116. And in fact, after we got off the show, Skee, that number went down to 115 and a half for a while. So there was a point in time where you could have got the win. But college was really good, like it was for you, 4-1. So happy with the 4-2. Take the profit, move on to another day.
Who are your winners in college?
The loser was Belmont team total. The winners were Ohio and Toledo over. It was Virginia team total over. The Florida game last night over. And who was the last one was the one I gave on that show. It was my $5 play. What the heck? How come I can't remember now? Oh, it was Villanova. Team total over 80 and a half was my $5 play, that one. Yes, we had 4 overs, 4 winners.
All right. And for me, Houston first half in college, I took
28-5.
Yeah, at one point there were like more turnovers than points that the other team had. And then I took a Seton Hall plus the points. I covered. And I took UNLV. They ended up winning outright. It ended up having to go to overtime, but man, UNLV, those kids are undisciplined. They just it's so much dumb stuff they do. Like they were trying to give that game away, but it ended up working out. CT narrative says Skee what happened to LeBron yesterday. Oh, he cooked. Watch your mouth about the king, boy. That's what he says. Well, you know what I'll say, CT. If he could play like that every day, we'll be good. We wouldn't have to come in here and talk about the Lakers roster or how bad the Lakers got embarrassed. We wouldn't have to talk about it if he could do that every day. So I would love it. That's all I want. But the problem is we don't get it. All right.
No. So we have to yap.
All right, let's see if we can find some winners for today, Vino. We have 7 games. It looks like on the slate. We'll start with Toronto and Indiana. Open 559, 560. That one. Open -2 for Toronto. Looks like 2 still. Total open 223 and a half. Looks like it's 222 and a half. Injury report. Jackson, Mather, and Toppin all out. For the Raptors, they'll be without Jacoby Walter, Jakob Pertl, Hepburn, RJ Barrett. Then you have Temple and Quickly and Mamu all questionable. So Raptors could be without quite a bit here. And let me just glance. Yeah, third game in 4 nights for the Raptors, 4th and 6. So not the greatest of spots for this Raptors team. We talk about all the time how the offense just gets so much worse at the offense just gets so much worse when RJ Barrett is not in the lineup. The defense gets worse when Jakob Pertl is not in the lineup. It just you could have no Quickly there. It could be just too much for me to trust this Raptors team. The Pacers, I feel like they have been playing better. I think they've even won their last 3 games.
Right.
So yeah, they're playing good basketball right now. Fairly healthy. I would like it if Mathurin was there, but I think the Pacers are the right side here. And if you're betting Toronto side, or as far as not Toronto side, if you're betting a prop, I like Murray Boyles over 18 and a half points and rebounds. Um, you're already without Pertl, could be without Mamu, and he's just getting a lot of minutes lately. Like the last 5 games, he's been getting 30 a little bit above 31 minutes compared to earlier in the season. It was like less than 20. So they're liking what they're seeing from him. I am as well. Pacers don't have the best rim protection, and the Pacers not the best rebounding team. So that's why I'll choose to focus on him for the Raptors side. But I do think the Pacers win, or if not, they'll at least cover the 2.5. What you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I kind of like the direction. I think you went there the other night. I know you said it on the show when Boston played Indiana, looked toward the under, and it stayed way under. And I almost like to come back with that here, under with Indiana, who have won three straight, who are focusing a little more on the defensive end. Toronto, as you mentioned, missing a lot of potential scoring here. The other night in the back to backs against Philadelphia, Philadelphia did play Embiid and George in the second, didn't play him in the first game, played him in the second game. Philly gets there by 13, held Toronto to 102. Pretty good effort out of the Sixers. But I kind of agree with the total coming down here, Skee. 223.5 to 222.5. Like I say, it's become the Pacers. I don't want to say style of play because I don't know that they're totally committed to playing defensive basketball rather than pace basketball. But there is somewhere in between with this team right now. They certainly don't have the bodies and the ability to get up and down the way they did last year. They don't do it anymore. And they have been playing better defensive basketball, evidenced by the game against Boston the other night. So maybe under 222.5. Didn't play it, but to me, that looks like the best look on that game.
Yeah, I would agree. If I'm betting the total, it is the under. Pacers defense has been good. And if you're missing, a couple point guards, couple guards for that Raptors team, I think it should hurt the offense at least a little bit. So I can understand that. Next game, Cavs and Sixers opened up -3.5 for the Sixers, down to 1 or 1.5. Total open 238.5, down as low as 236.5. Looks like that. I'm sorry, down as low as 235.5 at a shop. Livingston, Struce, Dean Wade all out for the Cavaliers. For Sixers, looks like it could be a night where everybody's out there. Even Oubre got upgraded to probable. So Edgecombe, Embiid, PG, Oubre, probable. Sixers, Vino, they've been playing some good basketball lately. I don't have the exact numbers, but yeah, they have been playing good basketball. This one is their third game in 4 nights, fourth and six. I'm pretty sure those prior three games were all on the road. Um, I feel like, and one of them was an overtime game. I don't know. I just feel like that's a little bit too much for me. The overtime game, first game home after being on the road for a bit, versus the Cavaliers team who got embarrassed last game. I feel like this is the spot the Cavaliers show up in, or at least win. Like once they get embarrassed and lose as a favorite, like they did to the Jazz. I think this is a Cavs spot here, Rob Veno. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to tell what is a Cavs spot anymore. As soon as they got good, they weren't good again. And so maybe they get good again now. I'm not so sure. Obviously, I think we made the case for Utah the other night simply because Markkinen had been sat in the final game of Utah's homestand, as was Nurkic, and then they both played on Monday. Markkinen had a really good game in that one, but to beat Cleveland outright was kind of surprising to me. They just shouldn't be getting beat by a team like that. However, they have been up and down. There's no reason to think that they couldn't get back up again. I'll say this about the Sixers. I wouldn't worry as much about third and 4 nights simply because George and Embiid didn't play one of those games. So for them, it's probably second in 3 days. So they played, they got a day off. They'll play again here. That probably helps them a little bit. Sixers team totals, Skee, last 8 games, 7-1 to the over. They're playing better offensive basketball right now as a team. Like you said, overall, they're playing better. The group has come together. They're finally whole at this point. I was a little surprised that the total came down from 238 to 236 or 236.5, wherever it lies right now. Thinking that both of these teams are probably going to have everybody on the floor and it should get up and down. Cleveland doesn't stop anybody and they certainly can score on anybody. That being said, we'll take a further look into it, but that would probably be my look here is to this game getting up and over. And I can't argue off of Cleveland just because there's not enough evidence to support that they shouldn't be played here. They're just all over the board. For a stretch of games, they're good. For a stretch, they're bad. Then they become good again. Hard for me to get a gauge on Cleveland right now. They are 1-4, 1-5 ATS last 6 after being 4-1 ATS the previous 5. So kind of crazy what's going on with Cleveland.
Yeah, we just need them to win the game for this one right
Yep.
here. Um, I don't know. I just look at the Sixers team. Yeah, they've been playing well, but banged up Raptors team back to back, banged up Magic team. Wizards don't even want to win. Nuggets whole starting five is banged up or not playing. Knicks without Josh Hart, banged up weak Mavericks, Grizzly. Like, how much stock are we putting into these wins? Is what I want to, that's what I'm thinking here, Rob Veno.
I agree. I agree. How much stock we putting into Cleveland losing to lousy Utah on their home floor?
But one thing, that's what I'm saying. I've seen Cleveland lose, like when they lose as a favorite and they're on the
Yep.
road, they've won 5 of their next 6 games. I think they've covered 5 of their next 6 games. It's like when they feel like they got embarrassed, they finally show up. So I think you get a really good game from them. Another thing I like for the Cavs side that I didn't mention, the Sixers, the absolute worst fast break defense. Cavs are playing with pace. Cavs do like to get out in the fast break and score. So I like that for the Cavaliers team. And the Sixers don't do the best job defending the mid range. You have a couple guys who are pretty nice floater for the Cavaliers, as well as Mobley could get in that mid range. I see the ways the Cavs can have success in this game. So I like the Cavaliers here. Next game. We have Jazz and Bulls. Speaking of those Jazz, open 4.5, sitting right there. Total has come down though from 246.5 as low as 240.5. Injury report. Markkinen is now doubtful. Kevin Love and Niang are both out for Chicago. Phillips is questionable. Collins and Giddy are out. Kawamura is out. And Kobe White looks like he's playing this time around. So this is a back-to-back for the Bulls. For the Jazz, they do have it's the first of a back-to-back for them. And man, can't help but notice just that marketing being out. Like I've seen them get blown off the earth this year, this season, without marketing out there on the court. I don't think the Bulls are a team you really want to lay with too often. So there's no way I could support them, but it's still very hard to look at the Jazz. This is one I think I have to pass here, Rob. Anything from you on Jazz and Bulls?
Yeah, the part that only makes it, or I guess the holdup for me on playing the Bulls is the back to backs. Played Houston last night, played them tough too, 119, 113. You get big minutes out of the front line in that game. Trey Jones goes crazy, scores 34. Probably not going to do that again. But the reason why I looked at the Bulls right away is for what you said earlier without marketing. I generally don't want any part of the Jazz. Keontae George has been very good, but when he's together with Markin, and he's even better because they have more threats. I don't know if we can expect Utah to do. It's very possible that Cleveland just saw Utah coming the other night. They're a double-digit favorite. Oh, it's only Utah. Before you know it, you get beat because Utah can score a little bit. If Chicago wasn't on a back-to-back, I think I'd be there with them tonight. The price is in a cheap enough range. You're asking him to only win by 5 points at home against this team. Not so sure I won't get there yet, Skee, but I got to convince myself that the back to back isn't as big a hindrance as I seem to think it is right now.
Nets and Pelicans. We just saw the Pelicans last night, and man, they pissed me off. Gave the game away. Um, Now we have them, yeah, back to back, home underdog versus Nets team. I think I honestly just I don't think I can avoid that I have recency bias from these Pelicans. We do have the Nets with the rest advantage. I mean, obviously it should be a spot for the Nets, but can we trust them here? It's a whole different story. I don't know that I do, Rob. Anything from you, Nets and Pelicans?
It's hard. I was waiting to see if they're going to sit Zion in the second of back-to-backs. You never know what's going to go on with New Orleans second of back-to-backs. There's already so many guys that aren't playing anyway. Had been good for a stretch, cooled off a little bit. My first inclination was just to play the game over, but then the Nets are involved, so then I don't want to play over. The Nets team total, for what it's worth, is 7-1 to the under last 8 games. So the Nets, I don't know if they can give me enough to push this thing over. And New Orleans, I mean, you can go right through their game logs. There's plenty of games in their last 12 where they haven't scored either, anything above 110. So that makes it hard to get to the total. And probably a good one to pass here. Like I say, I got burned by New Orleans myself last night, thinking they could get over 116.5, got to 116, left me at the altar. So maybe I'll just bypass that game tonight.
Nuggets and Mavs. Open to pick them. We now see Dallas -2.5. Total, not a whole lot of movement, but a lot on the injury report for both of these teams. I mean, Joker, Valanciunas, Cam Johnson, Braun, Bates, all out. Murray, Brown, both questionable. Gordon, Jones, both probable for Denver. For Dallas, PJ Washington, Brandon Williams, Matt are both questionable. Max Christie is doubtful. No AD in this one. Yeah, this is I don't know. This is a disgusting game, Rob. I'll skip. I'll wait for the last 2 games on the slate. Anything from you?
Yeah, I wanted to look toward Dallas here. I kind of figured earlier this morning, before this latest injury report came out, that Murray wouldn't play. He wasn't doubtful yesterday, but he was questionable. Then he did play, and he played well. Second of back-to-backs. I figured he's not going to play here. Dallas has been playing shorthanded for the last couple of games. Actually had a good win the other night. For them, it was a good win, 112-105 on the West Coast. Maybe still look at Dallas, but I think even more than that, Skee, the deeper I look into this, maybe under in this game. We talked the other day about not having Brandon Williams, and with Dallas, when they don't have 2 point guards, it gets a little difficult because you have to play Cooper Flag a lot at point. They got away with it the other night, but they only scored 112. And I just wonder if this game even makes it to, I'm looking at the number now, 224.5 down to 220. Well, you can still get 224s out there. I even see a couple 224.5. So maybe I'm going to look at that one from an under perspective. I'll give it some more thought.
All right. The Valley says, do you guys ever give game picks or just team totals and maybes? The Valley, do you ever listen? Because I've given out three bets already today. So either your listening skills are just not there, or I don't know what the problem is, because I've given out 3 bets already. Some guys you can't help, Rob. Some guys, they got to be spoon-fed. They can't even listen. All right, we're going to keep going here.
We can't play every game. And at the
what
end
do you
of
want me to
every
do,
show,
bro?
we're giving a best bet. At least we give something every day. I mean, I don't know. If you're looking to bet every game, you're probably in trouble anyway.
I've given 2 bets and a prop already. We have 7 games on the slate. We give a best bet at the end of the show. What are we doing here? The Valley 845. Come on, man. Next game up. Knicks and Kings opened up -10.5. It looks like 11. Total open 230.5, and it looks like 229.5. Injury report. Shaman is out for the Knicks. For the Kings, you have Murray out, Sabonis out, and Schroeder out. Is this a back-to-back for the Kings? That's what I'm just trying to double check here. No, it's not a back-to-back. It's 3rd and 4 nights, 4th and 6th. The Knicks did have 2 days off, so they do have the rest advantage here. The Knicks, I just can't help but think of they're so much better when Josh Hart is out there on the court. He comes back, they go out there for as bad as they've been on the road, right? They go out there and cover on the road. This Kings team coming off back-to-back wins, are they turning the corner on their season? Was it just a couple of good games? I don't necessarily trust the Kings. I don't. I really like the idea of continuing to bet New York since Josh Hart just came back. But something's giving me some hesitation here. I do think there will be points. I think this total is a little bit too low. How are you viewing this game, Rob?
Yeah, I like a lot of what you said in my notes that I wrote out this morning. I wrote first thing, time for the Knicks or time to play the Knicks. They had gone on that real bad streak since they lost the cup game. I believe they went like 1-9 against the spread right after that. They weren't playing well, but then they did win the other night when Josh, and it all correlates to Josh Hart, or most of it correlates to Josh Hart. But the thing that stopped me right away was I looked at that game before I checked the numbers. And then I saw they're laying 11, and I'm like, 11? I don't know that I want to get there with 11. So then I looked to the total because the Kings are playing better. And a lot of the quotes I read out of the Kings corner, especially where Malik Monk is concerned, it looks like a little difference in attitude here the last couple of games. So I think points are in abundance here as well. I kind of like this total over. The Knicks really don't play that good a defense. And again, it gets repetitive because I say it a lot, but just because they play slower tempo doesn't mean they don't score big because they're so efficient on their end. And the Kings aren't the best defensive team in the world. So I think you could find something in the 232, 233 range here tonight. And the number is only 229, which would lead me probably in this case to the over.
Yeah, I can understand. I don't really trust either defense right now. Good point by Larry West Jr. about Mike Brown was fired by the Kings. A little bit of payback, maybe. The only problem is, you know, does payback mean they win by 12? That's all. you know, I know he wants to win the game. I definitely know that. But do we want to win by 12? I lean Knicks, lean over. Need to think about it a little bit more. Next game, last game, Wizards and Clippers. Opened up Clippers minus 13. Looks like 12 and a half. Total open 227, down as low as 226. Whitmore, Trae Young will not be out there. For the Clippers, Kawhi, Zubac, both questionable. Bogdanovich, Derrick Jones Jr., and Chris Paul are out. Veno, I don't think, I said it already as soon as they made the trade, but don't think the Wizards are interested in winning games, Rob. And they've gotten blown out, I think, in the 3 games since the trade, or at least they didn't cover. It's just so many question marks on this Clippers side. If you tell me the Clippers were healthy, I feel a lot better about just, expecting another blowout of the Wizards. So that's what gives me hesitation here. Any thoughts from you here, Wizards and Clippers?
It's hard to know what their focus level would be, right, Skee? I mean, the Clippers have been playing so well. I don't want to go against them. You have to lay a double-digit price with a team that maybe wouldn't be fully focused in this spot. They go on a road trip right after this. Maybe their eyes are on the road trip, thinking they're going to get right past Washington. So I don't know that I could lay the number. I did. I don't want to get people in the chat mad at me because I'm going to talk about a team total here, but I have to talk about a team total. um, I almost took a look, and there's the other side of the coin. Clippers team total over. Which, if they're, if they're motivated and ready tonight to close out this homestand, then they do get over. But I was thinking of playing Washington over 106.5 simply because I don't know where that Clipper interest level rests for this particular game. If they come in halfway disinterested, it usually affects the defense. If in fact Kawhi doesn't play, it affects the defense and becomes more of an opportunity for Washington to score. So again, until we have a clear picture of the injury list, which we never do at the time we do this show, 11:13 Pacific, 2:13 for me here on the East Coast, we just never know where these final statuses are going to land. But I think if Kawhi doesn't play, I may get to Washington over their team total here tonight. Just thinking that the Clippers don't care if they win by 13. They just care to win the game, and they could probably outscore Washington.
And Washington is healthy. If they're healthy, that is a good, interesting way to look at it there. The one thing though, the Clippers defense has been good. But like you said, if Kawhi doesn't play, if Zubac doesn't play, it can both hurt the defense. This Wizards team has hit that number every game except for the last one, as far as their last 7. So I can definitely understand that. I like over in this game. I think that makes some sense. All right. That is the NBA slate for today. So we're going or before we move it to best bets, let's go ahead and toss this up on the screen. You can still get 7-day all access for $69. So slightly less than $10 per day. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, the price of a 3-day pass. Yeah, price of a 3-day pass. So you're getting 7 days for the price of 3 with this special that they have going right there. Outside of that, I'm going to move it on over to best bets. I'll ask you if there's anything else you'd like to promote. And, if you have a best bet for the show, there's people in the chat dying to hear a bet spoon fed.
And you know what? I'm going to disappoint so many people here. So I'm going to do what you do, Skee, and I'm going to say, listen, here's the short list that I'm looking at, but I just can't leave a best bet because there is no client play yet. There is no Rob Veno out of my own wallet play yet. So what I will say is what I discussed on the show. I do think Cleveland and Philadelphia probably find their way to the over in that game. Have not bet it yet, but I'm leaning that way. I'm leaning Chicago. I'm also leaning towards the Knicks and Kings to get over. And in the last game, we talked about Washington team total over 106.5. So there's 4 that if you guys want to go ahead and do the rest of the research on your own, or if they suit what you're feeling on these games, then that'll work. But again, Skee, I don't even have a client play in the NBA yet, so I'm not going to leave the best bet here.
I do have 3 plays. Like I said, already locked and loaded. You know what? Since Rob Veno didn't give one, I will give you 2 out of the 3. I like the Pacers in the first game. They're playing good basketball right now. They're fairly healthy, a lot healthier than the Toronto side. We already talked about Toronto without RJ, Perdo, et cetera, possibly without Quickly, just becoming too much. And we'll stay in that same game. We'll go Murray Boyles over 18.5 points plus rebounds. Just a really good matchup for him. He's getting more minutes with the lack of centers out there available. He's been playing good basketball. They like what they see from him. So 2 plays in the same game. First game on the slate for today. That's what I'll leave as best bets for the show. Veno, always appreciate you taking the time to do the show with me. It's my process. I'm sure it helps everybody else. Guys in the chat, we appreciate you. You guys help make the show what it is. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we will catch you all then.